Hi, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your June 2023 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out more than you guys will know, getting me seen by that YouTube algorithm. So, thank you all so very much. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see the energy we need to be mindful of during the Sagittarius full moon. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. This is the Princess of Wands reversed. So the Princess of Wands is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We could need to be mindful, Aries. We might have a bit of immaturity come to the surface. The Princess of Wands in the Druid Craft deck is also the Page of Wands in the Rider-Waite Smith deck. So there can be a level of immaturity during this time or frustration and tantrums. You know how little kids have tantrums? Well, adults have tantrums too. And we might find that we need to kind of step back during this time and realign what we want, what we're looking for, what we desire in our lives, and the way to move forward. There can also be somebody, excuse me, around us who's very immature, especially around their passions, around what they desire, but also around their temper. They could go from one idea to another. They can have these brilliant highs and these really intense lows. So just be aware of that can be a very difficult energy right now to be around. So let's see what spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Ooh. So here we have love reversed. We can get so caught up in the intense energy of the Page of Wands, in the fire, the intensity, the passion of this time, that we can forget about the love and how important love is for us, for what we desire, for the way that we're moving forward in our lives, for what we're looking at for our lives. So having love be our center and having love guide us is going to be something that we keep on having to remind ourselves, because it's just going to be something that we can easily forget about. We can very much say, okay, I'm determined to succeed this way, I'm determined to achieve this way, but we forget what we love and those that we love. And we can find this time is one that we can almost seem like we're taking it for granted. And spirit's like, no, stand right here, right now. That's going to be so important because it's going to be such a beautiful time. And we don't want to let it pass us by. So let's see what the tarot has to say before we get into the astrology of things. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels. Okay, so that's interesting. So what's interesting here is that we have the Queen of Wands reversed and we have the Emperor reversed. Now, actually, all our cards are reversed, which you could really sit there and say, oh man, that's totally not fair. But there's a lot of secrets coming to light, and that makes sense. I mean, we have the South Lunar Node in Scorpio, and this is the collective past, but this holds big secrets, toxic energies, and those are all coming to the surface. We're seeing that. it can knock us off our stride. So if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling overwhelmed, and you're like, there's no reason for this, yes, there is. Astrologically speaking, there is. We're picking up on it. We can be very sensitive to this. This can happen days before the full moon, and this can continue to happen days after the full moon. So just be aware of this. Now, Mercury moves very quickly through June. And Mercury rules Gemini, the energy that we're in most of June. And both are very quick energies. Mercury, Gemini energy, a lot of information is coming at us. The full moon in Sagittarius is 13 degrees, 18 minutes of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is the sign linked to independence, freedom, enthusiasm, idealism. This is also the sign that wants to go beyond what is to find out what can be. Excuse me, sometimes spirit gets me a little bit choked up at times. So, what we're going to see here is that we really do want to go beyond what is to what can be. We want to tap into our magic, tap into our power, tap into the essence of us. Now, Sagittarius searches for truth, searches for honor and integrity, and is very linked to the law, but not in the sense that Libra is law, justice. Sagittarius is law and truth. We find our beliefs can be shaken over the next few months. So just be aware of this, the things that we thought, excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of water. Things that we might have thought we were rock solid on, we're going to find is a bit trickier, like a bit more intense. So be aware of that. The full moon is a time of closure, especially around wherever 13 degrees of Sagittarius falls in our chart. We're going to see very pronounced endings. This full moon wants to shine a light. It wants to bring notice. And also, this full moon is letting us see a lot more clearly. That's why here, it's very connected with Neptune, which is the planet of unconditional love and oneness, is squared the galaxy, the galactic center, okay, the center of our galaxy. And this increases our psychic energy. We become more insightful, psychic development starts to happen. And it's also a time of having really insightful, really intense dreams. If you're not pulling your dreams into the waking world, then there's going to be a blockage around you, Aries. So just be aware of that. Uranus is also conjunct Mercury, okay? And this can bring sudden and surprising news as well as really big ideas. Uranus is a piercing sword of truth, so is seen as a piercing sword of truth. And Uranus is linked to the higher mind. It's a higher aspect of Mercury. Mercury is more the day to day. Uranus is linked into getting more into it, more into the questions, more into the wondering. And this is a planet that it's bringing us an awakening because it's moving new degrees to where it hasn't been in 84 years. Like it's moving into new alignment, and this is awakening us. It's moving us forward. Now, the transit in Jupiter is conjunct the North Lunar Node, and this is in 3 degrees of Taurus. This is very positive connections with our higher dreams, connection with nature, in in what we haven't seen our earth be guided towards in lifetimes. This sense of oneness, the sense of connecting with nature, the sense of power. Look to see where Taurus falls in your chart, because this aspect is going to be coming out so powerfully during this time that we're going to be like, oh, what am I connecting to? What am I seeing here? What is powerful for me? We're going to find that fights that we were usually game for, we were like, okay, you know what? I fought this fight 1,000 times before. I can fight it 1,000 times now. We're like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to have the same argument. I don't want to have the same fight. We can find that that's also making our fuse a bit short, especially if it's part of our job. Like I'm just seeing people who are lawyers and people who, are writing up contracts for things, and you're seeing certain aspects time and time again, and you get frustrated, you get tired, you get sickened, by certain things, and you're like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. So be aware of this, especially if you had to take a very kind of neutral stance on things. You're going to have an opinion, and you're not going to be fighting about it, but you're letting your opinion be known to you. Divinity is saying, you know what you know. And you're going to stand in your power, stand in your truth, stand in your understanding so intensely, so purposefully, and with such focus. So do be aware of that. But certain fights that you've been having or that you have on other people's behalfs, you're looking at it and you're like, why waste my time? Why do this? There's a lie that's coming out. Okay. There is something here where it's either certain negativities that we've carried and we thought were true. We thought, oh my gosh, this is, so important. This makes me who I am. And we're looking at it now and we're saying, no, I'm done. I'm done with this nonsense. I'm done with this negativity. I'm done. I'm done carrying this weight. We're going to find that somebody stands by our side as truths are revealed, as passion is, walked into, as we start to see things more clearly, more openly, more honestly for ourselves. And the Seven of Swords reversed is very much, embracing our voice and saying, I'm not living behind lies anymore. I'm just not. So that's going to be really important. If you have somebody in your life who is a stretcher of the truth, okay, is somebody who, you're just kind of like, you can't always trust them. You're really not going to have a place for them in the sphere of your being during this time. So just be aware of this. With the Queen of Wands reversed, okay, we're having a bit of difficulty connecting with ourselves during this full moon. Why? So much energy is coming to us. Psychic development is coming forward. Insight, understanding. We're dealing with people's negativities in ways that are a lot more honest than we would like them to be. It's like, okay, we would like it to be much more cut and dry. This is a time of infinite gray, infinite gray. With the Queen of Wands, Spirit is very much telling us, be mindful. Be mindful of your own passionate energy, being overwhelmed. Be mindful of not, excuse me, going deep enough into your dreams, into what you want. Putting yourself first is going to be very important, but embracing your own magic, embracing your own desire, embracing where you need to stand for you, Aries, is going to be a very powerful thing. You can find that tapping into the sacred feminine energy during this time. This doesn't mean that this is a reading only for women or those who identify as such. This is saying that this is a reading that is telling us the nurturing side of us we're having a harder time connecting to. We're having a harder time connecting to the very highest aspect of ourselves. But we would like a task, we would like clear directions, and we can get that done really well and really quickly. So being aware of that is going to be very important for us during this time. With the Queen of Wands reversed, there is almost a feeling like we're trapped, like a new day won't be coming, or what we really want is always going to be 5 steps out of reach, 5 steps out of reach. We have to stop. We can get way too much in our own head. We can get way too emotional on ourselves, way too like all or nothing. And we're not really interested in fighting, you know, and even fighting for ourselves during this time. The sense of woe or the sense of, just being overwhelmed. We might think, yeah, you know what, that's fair. Things haven't really improved the way that I thought they were going to, and I just have to settle in my existence in my life and just kind of like walk away like that. Like, I'm not going to believe in my dreams and what I desire anymore. I'm going to be very, very practical, very, stoic about things. For some people, that might work. For a lot of us on this path, though, it won't. And it will make us feel like we just clipped our wings and put ourselves in an airtight jar. And we won't be able to truly embrace what we love, truly see what we desire during this time if we do that to ourselves. So just be aware of this. With the Emperor reversed, there's fire and passion to us. There is no doubt of that. We can be having a really bad temper during this time, or we can find ourselves in situations where people have really bad tempers. And these can be the most even keel of people. And we're like, what the heck is going on here? A lot of fire is coming forward. A lot of awakening is coming forward, and people can just be overwhelmed by it. So just know that if you're running into that type of energy, the fighting, the arguing, the intensity, it can be because awakenings are coming and it's just throwing everybody off their game. Now, this also for us means that we don't want to dive deeper and deeper and deeper into everything right now. We kind of want to look at what's on the surface and say, cool, I see that. I get that. Now I'm moving forward for what I need to accomplish. Simple tasks, simple things that we can check off a list. That'd be exquisite for us during this time. Because what we're going to be challenged to do is to step into ourselves, is to say, what do I want? What do I need? What am I seeing for me? How am I opening the door for me? We don't want to rule. We don't want everybody's problems thrown at our laps, though they will be. We don't want, to listen to everything. We just don't. So this is going to be a time where we're going to kind of be balking against the responsibilities we fought so hard to have. This can be tricky, especially if you own your own business. But what we need to see right now is kind of like that sense of like power through it. I don't mean to sound so nonchalant or uncaring about this, but we're going to look at things and say, listen, I'm not in the mood. I totally get that. I don't want to do this, but I have to keep on going for me. Because when I step out of this time, when I step into what it is that I truly want, I'm going to be so happy that I kept on believing in myself and kept on powering forward and didn't let lies and deceits and hurts and pains and endless arguments keep me from what I truly want in my life. And it brings us to the world reversed. Here it is, the universe. And the universe reversed is like, don't focus outward. Don't look at everybody else's stuff and everything else. Look at you. And that can also be a really hard thing. We're focusing our world more and more and more on us. What does that mean? What do we want? And we could be looking at things and seeing that old desires or old, things that we took for granted, it's not working for us anymore. This is a time where our whole world is us, our families, our friends, and it's not even us taking on their responsibilities. We really just don't want that. It is us saying, I'm showing up for me. I need to live the very best hour I can live, the very best day I can live, and start moving forward. And that's just going to be it. We can lose our temper along the way, apologize. We can feel frustrated along the way, respect that. Because divinity is going to be throwing a lot at us. There's going to be an intensity to it, and that's okay. Because what's going to happen is that we then step out of like this cocoon of our own world and we start to see like, wow, if I can handle that, what's going on in there, I got this. So this is going to be a time where you just need to kind of be a little bit deaf to everybody else and say, what do I want? What do I need? Because it's going to be so easy to, forget, to just forget and get pulled in by lies by other people that are being revealed, get pulled in by, endless fighting that you don't want and it's draining you and you're tired, and then you'll lose your beauty. But here, if we look at this and say, okay, forewarned is forearmed, I'm turning this around. I'm embracing my passion, my desire, what I love, what I want. I'm letting myself shine. I'm looking at my magic, my spark. And then I'm claiming my throne. And I'm saying, this is what I rule. This is my life. And this is what I desire from it. It can seem abrasive to people at times. It could seem, maybe even uncaring. It's not. It's going to be one of the best things that you can do for yourself, Aries. So let's dive deeper. Let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, okay. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Oh, there we go. We got an upright card. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. What's so interesting here is just what pops out instantaneously is fear reverse. So we're releasing a lot of our fears, just as we're releasing a lot of lies and releasing this endless fighting. If you have, Spirit just said, if you have something that's like chronic pain, okay, this can be a time where you're looking at that chronic pain and you're figuring out better ways to manage your life. Like there's a sense of you gaining power of you again. And that's going to be a very big thing. And especially also for sort of people here who have just been scared, overwhelmed, not really knowing why, this is going to be a time where we're releasing a lot of fear. Now, the moon is saying we're going to be reluctant to healing. We just are. We have a lot that we're dealing with. There's almost a sense of like, that's fine. If it winds up that I heal, if it winds up that I can move forward, that's great. That's not my focus. Spirit's like, no, 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 no. Focus on you and focus on your healing. Focus on yourself. Look at your energy. Look at what you want from your life and see where things are off, because you're going to be able to write things. You're going to be able to move things forward in a very prosperous, very balanced way for you if you let the healing in. But that is going to be something that we're fighting, because our world, it's getting smaller. It's getting focused on us. We're releasing so many fears. And now it's time to say, I accept healing. I enter into a time of healing. It brings us to this place where we're releasing these endless fights. We're having a bit of difficulty, the moon is telling us, with boundaries. And it says, don't let your pride get in the way. We're letting our pride get in the way, which is very much a fire sign thing to do, but it's also very much a human thing to do, to let our pride move things forward, to let our pride overwhelm things. And so here, there's going to be a need to take the ego out of it. Look at our boundaries. Look at what we want. Look at where we don't have the boundaries and say, okay, what do I desire in my life and what do I need? This is going to be a time where we need to say no to more things. That's going to be really important. Emotions are running high. That was our first upright card. So instead of being cool and calm as a cucumber, right? Emotions are running high. We can see that there's an intensity to this. Resilience. We're not feeling as resilient. We're not carrying and carrying and carrying. And you know what Spirit's really saying? Nor should we be. This is a time where we need to look at what we want, where we're headed, where we're going, and put down what we're carrying and say, am I carrying, the right amount? Am I weighing myself down too much? What do I want in my life and where do I need to be for me? We're going to find that we're releasing the world tree that we're carrying. This sense, I always see it like we're all looking for that greatest spot, right? To plant our tree, to have our lives, to do things. And Spirit's like, what about right where you are? What about right here, right now? And start to live in bliss. Joseph Campbell talks about living in bliss. And what's so interesting is it's not being happy every moment of every day, but it's recognizing happiness. It's recognizing beauty. And it's saying, what makes my heart excited? What makes me joyous? What opens my world? And that's going to be something we need to ask ourselves during this time. As certain lies, we're releasing them. We're like, nope, you know what? That's not true for me, or that's not where I want to be, or I can't believe I listened to what that person said for so long and their words stuck with me. Because a win-win outcome is forecast. We need to have faith. And we're not really having that much faith in ourselves. Why? We've let ourselves down before, or things haven't worked out before. And now we're thinking, well, how can I trust? How can I trust anything? This is going to be a time, especially with Jupiter in conjunction with the North Lunar Node. This is going to be a time where we're looking at the natural world again, where we're looking at nature and what we desire, and starting to have faith. Maybe in omnipotence is a bit hard for us, but to have faith in the tree, to have faith in the soil, to have faith in the actual world around us, that can be something huge. And that starts to bring us back into vibrational balance with the earth. And that brings us to that win-win outcome. Your dreams need a practical plan. They do, Aries. We're resisting a lot of change that's coming forward because it just seems like there's endless change, endless change. Your dreams need a practical plan, feet planted on the ground. Don't be fighting this change. It's going to come and sweep us off our feet, whether we like it or not. So be aware of that. But as you start to look at what you want more practically, that's first of all going to really tune into your general spirit, that sense of the Aries, the god of war, that magnificent, battle planner, general person who can see the big picture, maps in 3Ds in our mind's eye type of energy. And if we say, okay, this is what I want, I need that practical plan, my gosh, can we go at it like nobody else? And we can get it like nobody expected. So it brings us here then to a time for healing reversed. Again, we're fighting that healing, but we're releasing a lot of fear. And this is going to be a time where we feel vulnerable, letting ourselves enter into kind of like a covenant of healing or enter into powerful healing energy. It can just seem a little bit too vulnerable, a little bit too, yeah, a little bit too raw, too real. And we don't really want that all the time. So just be aware of this. Our subconscious message to be mindful of. This is the Four of Wands. Commitments are being tested. Things that we vowed to, or we said, yes, this is exactly what I want. We're now looking at things in a different light, and people can also be looking at it in a different light. So just know that subconsciously, what we thought was set in stone, we're really seeing, well, it isn't. And that's okay, because we're going to have to be okay with that. It brings us then to our subconscious spirit message, and this is angelic reversed. subconsciously, we don't feel as connected with our angels as we are. And so it's going to be a powerful, energy, powerful understanding to say, this is what I love. This is what I want. I'm connecting with my angels. I have their wings wrapped around me. I am safe. I am protected. I am powerful. It brings us then to our subconscious tarot message, which is the Knight of Cups. This is healing. This is moving forward in healing, beautiful love, carrying, some say this is it's the ark. No, it's not the upper ark of the covenant. It's the chalice that caught Christ's blood, and I can't remember what that's called. So if you remember it, please tell me, because I'm totally forgetting. The Holy Grail. That's it. That's it. The Holy Grail. And so here, moving forward, carrying what is holy, what is sacred, what is valuable and beautiful to us, moving above and moving beyond pettiness, a tyrant of emotions, overwhelming, sense of how do I move forward? Where do I belong? What's right for me? And then that brings us to a subconscious link to our moon. It says it's time to give rather than take. Self-love, right? It's time to give to the world rather than take, but we need to have self-love. So if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not going to have anything to give. Be aware of that. I love the statement, you need a gallon to get a cup. Fill up that cup, fill up that gallon, because you need to be able to give that cup to everybody else, right? You need to be able to be there for others. But if you're not there for yourself, who the heck cares how many people you show up for if you can't show up for you? This moon is going to challenge that. There's going to be an awakening in Aries. We're going to feel a little bit uncomfortable with it, with our psychic development, with our increased intuition, with, these insightful dreams that come our way. It's going to be showing us a lot more than we bargained for. This isn't a bad time at all. This is actually a very powerful time. This is a time where you connect, you regroup, and then you charge forward, saying, I know what I want, I know where I need to be, and nothing and no one is going to stop me. All right. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless, and have a beautiful moon. Bye.